Okay, hello everybody. My name is Bezad.
My name is Risa.
And welcome to the Wonder Looper live stream. It's been a little while since we've hung out with you last, but I'm glad that we're back. We're back from a mini world tour, half a world tour, right? What would you consider it?
It's almost more than a half.
We flew around the world.
Yeah, we did fly around the world.
Yeah, so back again to talk to you about all the good things that you need to know about us and Wonder Looper and all the things that are going on here. Welcome to the chat, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. It's good to be here with all of you. We've got Chase in the chat. Love to see you all doing 100% FoxFibre item. Did you use Sally's sewing thread as well? We did not use Sally's sewing thread.
No.
I didn't know there was a sewing thread that Sally did.
No, I did not know either.
But if it's 100% cotton, I don't know if it would be durable enough to deal with the weight of these garments. Mm-hmm. These are some pretty heavy-duty garments. So we're using a poly cotton thread for sewing because that's the strongest you can get, and you're going to need it for these beefy boys. There's no real beef in here, but they're 100% beef, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay. Well, now that we're talking about this item.
No, we'll get into it. There was a little teaser preview in the Instagram post, but we'll talk about it. There's a lot of things to talk about today. We'll do a little greeting with the chat here, talk about ourselves a little bit, just to let people know who we are, what we do. I'm sure there might be some first timers here in the live stream. So
that would be wonderful.
Yeah, if you have any questions for us, this is the platform to do it. You know, we like to have these little powwow sessions with the community here to, see where you guys are at, what you guys want to know about, to kind of let you know about all the products we do, all that kind of stuff. It's a casual hangout. Mm-hmm. Right, so.
I see somebody from yesterday's live stream on Naked and Famous side is here.
That's it. Mr. Arif, good to see you, my friend. Hi from Chicago. Excited about the upcoming offerings from Wonder Looper. Well, thank you very much. He says they're 100% plant-based.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100% plant-based garments right here, except for the bit of polyester in the sewing thread. But that's just to make sure that your garments last extra, extra long. Juan Puebco, A from Greenfield, California, checking in. Good to see you. We are broadcasting live, just in case you guys don't know, we are broadcasting live here from Yokohama, Japan. And it is morning time for us, evening time for many of you. BD here is in the chat, the producer. Good to see you here as well, my friend. So, Wonder Looper.
Yeah.
Here we are. Mm-hmm. And wait, one more. John Chan says, Happy Lunar New Year from Singapore. Well, thank you very much, Chase. Chase, Lauren, greetings, and Chris, Lauren. Sorry, Chris. I'm reading things. I'm seeing things that aren't there. But hello from SoCal. Okay, well, everybody, welcome to the chat. Let's start off with a little introduction to ourselves. Introduction to Wonder Looper. For those people who might be new to the brand or who are wondering who are these people who are always talking to me in these live streams, and why is that guy always in the product photos?
Oh.
Yeah. Somebody might be thinking, wow, that's one handsome model, which is true, but we'll get into it. So anyways, my name is Bezad. I've been in the apparel world for about 20 years now. I know I look very young, but don't be fooled. I've been selling jeans, products, developing products for Naked and Famous. You guys know, maybe you guys know, or maybe you don't know, but Reese and I both also work for Naked and Famous Denim, developing products there, doing sales, marketing, you name it. You've probably seen us there for a long time. And Wonder Looper is basically our little side project that started up during the that little pandemic thing that happened a couple years ago. You might remember it.
Yeah. Well, we started getting into it during the pandemic, but it really started off as a brand at the end of 2022. So it's only been around for a year and a little bit. This lighting is awful.
Sorry about the lighting, guys. It's going to change. Not a lot of natural lighting happening here. But yeah, it's as a knitwear company, 2022 is when we first launched. But initially, it started off as a chain stitching hobby business sort of thing. So Risa got a hand cranked chain stitching machine, and she was, embroidering t-shirts, doing a little bit of embroideries for people here and there online. And, as we were embroidering t-shirts for some people, we decided that, because we were just kind of buying some blanks from, local blank suppliers, we thought, hey, maybe we could just make our own t-shirts for this project. And then that slowly snowballed into, well, if we're going to make a t-shirt, we got to make a good t-shirt. We can't just make a good t-shirt, we need to make the best t-shirt. And that slowly generated more momentum. And then all of a sudden, we had some double heavyweight t-shirts on the way. We're looking at some amazing knitwear, developing the double heavyweight French terry. And we put it out to the world, just kind of in a very small way, just through some of our retail partners that we, knew through our work, with Naked and Famous. And we generated a little bit of buzz online. People were very excited and, for the kinds of products that we're making. And here we are today.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know too much about apparel industry, really, weirdly, on the production side, apparel industry is very, very much separated into woven side and knit side. So wovens are obviously like fabrics that are woven on a loom that goes warp and weft and in different combinations. But at the end of the day, it's just basically this combination that's making the fabric, whereas knit is, I'm sure you can hand knit, even you're just making loops and you're going
repeating them.
Yeah. So that it's hard for me to do it with my hands, but it's a different way of making fabric, and because the characteristics of fabrics are so different and the machineries are so different, even on the sewing up till the sewing side, the usually a lot of companies do one or the other. Brands in general obviously have, products that are both woven and knit, but that's brands selling them together, whereas up till the production is very separated. So even though we were very we were learning a lot about woven side of the apparel production for years and years, and we're getting really into it, but we didn't know too much about knit, and which is why it's such a different from what we did at Naked and Famous, what we were doing at Naked and Famous, which obviously we had t-shirts and knits and all that stuff, but we're learning so much about knit fabrics and what it takes to make them,
and what it makes to make special knit fabrics, because a lot of the knit world is based on things called running fabrics. So fabrics that companies will make, they make them for, this is a knitting mill, these are the fabrics that we make, and then they kind of sell those fabrics to everybody. So there's fabrics that are just constantly always in production, and that's why you generally don't see a lot of product variation in terms of, colors or maybe not so much colors, but weights and the ways that things are made. A French terry is a French terry is a French terry, but maybe you're not seeing things like our Super Looper French terry, for example, or even in terms of t-shirts, like a heavyweight t-shirt in the wild, it might peak out at 8 to 10 ounces, but going above and beyond that, you really don't see it, because that's not something that factories are making in scale, because they want to sell a lot of t-shirts, and that's usually how the knitwear world works. Sell tons, sell it to everybody, and so there's just not a lot of product variation. Low prices, but not a lot of product variation. Whereas our aim is to kind of create fabrics that are very special and very unique, and by doing that, there's a big price difference. Unfortunately, I think our prices are still good for what we offer, but we're learning a lot about the custom, how difficult it is sometimes to get custom fabrics made in this world versus, say, denim. Because even in denim, there are certain kinds of yarns that are just like available. So sometimes it's basically based on that, where you might have a certain warp yarn. Like those are the external yarns that are available. These are the same kinds of yarns that are available to practically everybody, and then doing some variations within that, changing the weft, getting a thicker yarn, but those thicker yarns are usually available as well. But with knitwear, it's totally different, and the availability is different. So
well, but even in the woven world, it's actually really like not that common to have, brands that are like that develop their own fabric in cooperation with
that's true.
Fabric mills. It's in denim world you see it often enough. Oh, this is proprietary or whatever, but sometimes it's just changing like a little bit of a thing. Like just changing a
salvage color
or changing like just the little things, whereas. Or like even in knits, like a lot of the common thing is that like the fabric base is there and you just dye it in different colors.
Oh
and
yeah, that's big.
Their color. So it's actually not that common, and we as a small brand, much smaller than Naked and Famous, anyways. It's just kind of a very difficult step for us to make, but because we are just kind of pushing ourselves into this world and doing all these like exciting things, that I think the people who make the yarns and who make the fabric, they're starting to turn around and say like, this might be something.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that, and that's all thanks to like the support that we have from the community.
Yeah. Sometimes we think when we're developing some of these fabrics, like, we'll get the price, and like just the price per meter on some of the fabrics that we deal with are like the cost of like a finished garment that you would buy,
Not more than
like
that.
way more sometimes. Yeah. And we like, in my heart, I think, man, that's a lot of money. But at the same time, I always think if we just make the best possible thing, then there's going to be people who want the best possible thing. Mm-hmm. And like that turns out to be many of you people here. But it is very, very different from developing denim. And we're having a lot of fun doing it. And, now that we're, like Risa said, getting a little bit of momentum, the mills are a little bit more, excited when we have. But maybe excited is not always the exact.
They don't like it, but I think
they like the way we're going. Like there's something there. They're like, these guys are crazy. Like let's be a part of this. But
we're always the pain in they're behind.
Yeah.
But it's okay. That's you kind of have to be, if you're doing something that everybody else is doing, it's easier, but it's not going to be exciting.
Right. So that's a little bit about us and what we do. And that's the short version of the Wonder Looper story. Let's check in with the chat and see what we've got people saying. BD writes, hockey on TV, Wonder Looper on the iPad, a good Saturday night in. It does sound like a good Saturday night in. The Raven writes, hello from SoCal, wearing my Heather Gray Wonder Looper t-shirt. Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's the gray Wonder Looper double heavyweight t-shirts, the gray and the charcoal gray, a little bit softer in touch compared to the solid color ones. Just FYI, for everybody.
It's just the way the fabric is made. It's a heathered color, so it's not dyed as a fabric, and that's what makes it softer.
Yeah. Christian B writes, hey guys, got my sweatpants for Black Friday, and I've worn them every day since. What are the chances of a Type 1 or Type 2 trucker jacket in some double heavyweight French terry? I'm not going to go there. Like a denim trucker jacket style.
Well,
and I think it might be...
So the similar with like sewing a very thick denim, that like trucker jacket especially, it has a lot of
pleats.
seams.
Yeah.
And seams means that like even just a simple seam would have at least 2 layers, and then you have to attach that to something. So that's at least the 3 layers of fabric. And especially with our heavyweight fabrics, it's important to keep layers thinner because otherwise they can't sew it.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't stay either. It would be very difficult for the thread to withhold the seams.
They like most knitting mills, just like I would say even in denim land, like part of the difficulty of making a heavyweight jean is that a lot of the machinery wasn't designed for such heavyweight fabrics. Most denim in the world is meant for like 8 to 12, 13 ounce denim. Really, you can push them, but they're not really meant for it. And the heavier the fabric gets, the more difficult it is to sew. And with knitwear, most of the knitwear in the world is very lightweight. It's a lot easier to work with in terms of sewing. Whereas the heavyweight stuff, like, you know, you're busting needles and things like that, and they don't like it. So, more seams, more difficult. It's kind of like with our double heavyweight hoodies, like the first batch, they had the double hood. That caused... They could do it, but it caused so much problems that the factory asked us to change the design a little bit on that one. So if you have an OG double heavyweight French terry hoodie, you have the double thick layer hood, whereas the second batch, they came out with the single layer hood. Now, all the other hoodies, like the fleeced FoxFibre, that has a double layer hood because it's a lighter fabric that we could do that with.
Yeah, and even in the new Super Looper Tsuriami French terry, we have, it's a thicker fabric than fleece fox, but we were able to do the double because it's considerably thinner than double heavyweight.
Right. Okay. Chris Dodson writes, would a lightweight hoodie made from your heavyweight tee material be a good idea? I would like a lightweight hoodie. I think
heavyweight material,
like the double heavyweight cotton? T-shirt and a hoodie, as a hoodie. I mean, that's possible.
Yeah. I mean, there's things like a jersey. The fabric that you use to make a T-shirt is jersey, not French terry, and the jersey material, using the jersey fabric to make a hoodie is in theory possible. Yeah. I've seen it also. It's just that I don't know. It's possible. We just don't see it maybe for our future, for near future.
I think I would rather use a French terry or a fleeced back terry for a hoodie rather than the jersey. Anyhow, we at some point, like, if you want a lighter weight hoodie, anyhow, let's get into it. Let's get into spring summer 24 because this is the year. This is the year, Chinese New Year and spring summer, and is the year 2024 right now. Mm-hmm. So we do have a lighter weight hoodie coming out in a couple of months. So the current schedule for spring summer 24 deliveries, my brain is still in 23, I don't know why. The current schedule for spring summer 24 deliveries is double heavyweight t-shirts are going to be arriving in maybe 2 or 3 weeks here to our place. And we're going to be receiving a couple of batches of them. So we're going to have the colored shirts, and then we'll have the grays being restocked as well. So from like basically start of March to end of March, the website is going to be restocked. Our retail partners are going to be restocked on the tees. So if you've been waiting to grab one, they've kind of been sold out for a while now. You're going to be able to get one, and that inventory should last us up until, I'm hoping, the summer, when we'll restock probably for the fall. Not probably, we'll restock for the fall. And so that'll be like March deliveries. April, May, we're looking to have the Wonder Looper Super Looper French terries coming out. And that's these guys here. So these are going to come in a bunch of colors, but what's really special about this fabric is this beautiful French terried loop interior. And you can see just how plush it is because the loop size is random. you get a bunch of different like big and small and medium-sized loops throughout. So it really kind of feels like a towel. It's super comfortable and plush on the inside. Again, one thing that we love to do with Wonder Looper is we want when you get the garment, when you feel it for the first time, that there's something something special about it, like something that you've never really experienced or felt before. So this is a very, very special French terry. As you can see, random sized loops here, and in a much more approachable weight. You know, the double heavyweight is quite heavyweight, 709 GSM. This one's coming in at 446 GSM. So, you know, it's not a lightweight sweatshirt, but it is in like it's in heavyweight land.
Right. So our fleece FoxFibre was 345, if I remember correctly. So it is a little bit heavier, a little bit chunkier than that one. But because it's spring summer, it's not fleeced, it's not brushed, it's more absorbing of your sweat, perhaps.
and it's also Tsuriami knit.
Right.
So this is it's a Tsuriami knit sweatshirt. So you do get some of that stretch, natural stretch that you would get from Tsuriami knitting. So this is single needle, on the French terry, not single needle. How's the construction on this?
Oh, so like there will be, because there's 3 layers to this fabric, there's 3 yarns coming in at the same time, but it's each row of the knitting is done one by one, whereas in
Snowy, everybody.
Sorry. Okay.
Come here.
With the like more modern, even though they're pretty vintage, some of them are really vintage too. But the newer technology is that you can knit multiple rows at a time, so it's speedier, and it's just if you look at the machine, there's like bunch of yarns coming in from all around and making it.
Hold on, I think I have an Instagram reel I could show you.
Oh yeah. We have a wonderful.
So this is a modern machine, for example. Let's go to Instagram. So you can see how many yarns are feeding the knitting machine at the same time.
Yeah.
And this is actually the double heavyweight French terry being knit right now in this video. So
this one,
So they're still quite old, but you can see that the technology is much more improved than these ones over here. These are the Tsuriami knitting machines. These are over 100 years old at this point, and they're still operating here in Japan. There's only 2 places in the world that are operating these machines still, and that is Japan, where there's a handful of factories, and then there's one factory in Germany that still operates these as well. So a very rare knit fabric.
Yeah. So this a lot of people confuse the tubular bodied items as Loopwheel, and that is not true at all. So Loopwheel is, as we just saw, it's a machine that knits fabric slower than modern machines, and the tubular body has nothing to do with it because it's just the construction of the t-shirt. As you can see, regardless of whether it's modern or it's old, knit fabric that we use on t-shirts and sweatshirts most likely is knit on tubular shape to begin with. And whether that t-shirt is made using that tube as a body or not, or you have a wider fabric and you cut to make the t-shirt with the side seam. That's the tubular body construction, and it has nothing to do with how the fabric is made.
So sometimes you will see, and I it's part of our product knowledge that we'd like to share. Sometimes you will see companies use the word loop wheel, and they're not loop wheel. It is just a word that is used very, very often and sometimes misconstrued. They think that circular knit or tubular knit is loop wheel. It's not the same. Loop wheel refers to Tsuriami machines, those century-old knitting machines. I've even seen companies go as far as to say, oh, well, these are, garments that we made that are similar to Tsuriami machines, but we made them on modern machines. I'm like, yeah, it's not the same. It's not. You cannot make the comparison between these two things. They're completely different technologies. So be careful, because a lot of people will use that word. Sometimes they do it on purpose, trying to confuse you, and sometimes people just don't know the difference. And then I also just want to talk about side seams on t-shirts, because there is this belief that side seams, may indicate what's better, tubular body or side seams. Tubular body is really designed for mass production, right? If you want to make a lot of t-shirts and you want to make them fast, you make them in one body, right? So in tubular production, you'll have a production line of different sizes. So the smalls, the mediums, the larges, the XLs, and then you just make them to fit. And that way, when you do the cutting and sewing, all you're doing is putting on the sleeves and you're putting on the neck. Whereas when you're doing, when you've had seams, you're tailoring the garment. So there is more consideration generally. Of course, there's sometimes part of it is sometimes you just want to make one size of knit and then do all the cutting and sewing there, and then you can cut it. You don't have to worry about sizes in terms of the bodies. But when you do have side seams, there's a little bit more tailoring going on into that garment, and you will have different fits based on that.
Right. And the reason for us, for instance, like we do, like our t-shirts are our side, it's straight, like our body is not curved or anything like that. And that's not the reason why we don't, because sometimes you get questions like, why does your t-shirt have side seams? Because it's, like I understand sometimes side seams is like, no side seams is a selling point. I get that. But at the same time, there is a limitation to how, like for instance, you see a pack tee from, bigger companies, like very, very big companies, and they have tubular body. As you can see, those are one of the cheapest, t-shirts you can get in stores, and they have tubular body. So again, like it's not really the quality sign of quality. It's just that if it works for that mass scale production, then they should do that. I 100% agree that's a good thing. But it just, with our scale, with our special fabrics, because you have to be able to make a ton with the same setting. So if you're using like a running fabric that fabric mill is using all the time, and if your sizing fit into that because you can't, it's like, if it's standard small, standard medium, standard large, you have to go with that. Otherwise, you can't, you have to be okay with that width. Yeah. Because you can't change that once it's knit. Yeah. So,
like here in Japan, there are sizes.
Yeah.
But they're Japanese sizes. So as far as our spec goes, if we wanted to do it without the seams, we would peak at medium.
Sometimes large. It depends on the fabric. But so like it's the machine setting of the size. It definitely is not going to accommodate double XL. And that was a problem. We don't want to have like just the double XL have side seams. So just XL and double XL have side seams, or things like that. That just doesn't make sense to us. And second of all, because those are two different products that, when they're making at the factory level, sewing it. So that doesn't make sense to us. And on top of that, these machines like need to make things constantly, always. And our production is not that large to keep a machine setting for us.
Right.
So we either use the fabrics that other people are using, or
we use the settings.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, even if we wanted to make, medium, small, and tubular body, we would just have to give up something. Which, we don't like to give up anything.
No. So that's
with that said,
that's a long-winded version
I know,
of
sorry.
side seams and not side seams.
But with that said, with our double heavyweight, we understand the comfort of no side seam. So what we went with is the vintage flat seam machine. So those are not super common, but it's used in sewing. It's actually meant for like sewing underwear and stuff like that, because you touch directly on your body. So you want the seam to be as flat as possible. And there's a Union Special machine that makes a flat seam sewing that just kind of like it's also another thing where like, oh, it's vintage inspired.
Right.
But it's also functional. You don't feel the seams on double heavyweight t-shirts, even though it's a very, very thick fabric.
It's a small detail that can easily be overlooked. And, I do like that we do a lot of, it's all flat seam construction. So if it can't be, tubular body, no seams, at least the seams that we have are as flat as possible. Somebody was asking about shrinkage in our garments. Generally speaking, they don't shrink a lot. Now, all knitwear, all garments are going to shrink in the wash. We torture test all of our garments, and shrinkage is minimal. And any shrinkage you get, you can stretch the garment out and it'll all come right back.
Yeah, from our experience, our double heavyweight t-shirts do not shrink at all.
Yeah, they really don't.
Which is weird. I mean, I think it's because it's a dense fabric to begin with, that it doesn't have much room to shrink.
Yeah.
But other items shrink maybe a little bit, and knit fabric tends to shrink more in the length. So if you're thinking of buying a sweatpants, for example, you want to take that into account, because the inseam would shrink a bit, and because it's such a long thing to begin with, a little bit like 2% shrinkage would be noticeable at the ankle level. But
if you wash them before you shrink, wash them before, if you have to hem the sweatpants, wash them before you hem them, and then that way you get the shrinkage out.
But like I said, most of the things you can stretch it out. The best time to do it is when it's damp, before you dry the garment, and it should be fine. And if if a certain fabric has a high shrinkage, we definitely pre-wash the garment before we sell it to you. So you don't have to worry about like crazy amount of shrinkage.
In fact, a lot of our garments will stretch just being on the hanger. Like, we just got a bunch of samples, and like when we get the samples in, we measure them to make sure that everything's within spec, and then I put it on the hanger. And the other day, we were doing a wash test, so we measured the garments before the wash test, and we're like, oh, they stretched like a certain amount of percentage from just being on the hanger. So a lot of things can affect like the length of your garment or like the size of the garment, and just hanging them can do that as well. So I don't think we've ever had a single complaint from anyone with shrinkage on our side.
Yeah, I mean, we try to be aware of these things before we sell it to you.
Yeah, we've been around the block, so we try to avoid problems before they show up. So.
Yeah. So speaking of which, we have I want to just.
Oh, we just got something to say.
I want to just move on to another item that's coming out in spring, even though it's going to be a very late spring.
Yeah, so this is like June-ish, June, maybe July delivery. So this and the Ultimate Pima tee are scheduled to come back around then.
Okay, let's talk about the after.
Maybe.
Ultimate Pima tee.
Yeah.
I don't have a date that I'm comfortable sharing. But this one is the FoxFibre Tsuriami t-shirts. And this fabric, the segue to here is because this one we saw a high shrinkage rate, so we decided to garment wash it, like one wash the garment. So again, you would not see a big shrinkage on your end. But this one is, I'm very excited about this. It is regular weight. It is, let's see.
Sorry, the lighting's a little off, guys, but one day we'll get a studio.
Are you sure? Because then Snow is not gonna come.
Oh, he'll be in there.
No, this is not the 228 GSM.
Right.
So it is still considered heavyweight, but it's not like super heavy like our.
Yeah, it's not like a fantastically lightweight T-shirt, but it's not in like it's not the double heavyweight. That's for sure.
And
it's like I would call it like a beefy tee.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, it's very soft. Yeah. So it's way more close to regular heavyweight tee. Yeah. I would say. Yeah. And then, this one, again, is made with FoxFibre. And we chose the color that is the darkest.
The darkest variety of FoxFibre grown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's just the color of this fabric is natural color of the cotton.
Right.
So that's why we love FoxFibre. We've been using FoxFibre for our Fleek's FoxFibre product line for now a year, I guess.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, so we're very, very big fans of FoxFibre, and I'm sure that many of you in the chat already know about it, but for those people who might be new, let's talk a little bit about FoxFibre and FoxFibre cottons. And they are naturally, organically grown, colored cottons. So the color of this sweatshirt, the color of this t-shirt doesn't come through dyeing. The cotton is grown in this color. Why dye the cotton when you can grow the color? And that's the beauty of FoxFibre cottons, is that they're organic, they're grown this way, there's no needs for chemicals or pesticides or dyes. So all of those finishing processes that are involved in creating your t-shirt, they're eliminated. And you have this natural, beautiful color that also ages with you. And that's another beauty of this cotton. It's natural. So if you dry it out in the sun a lot, if you wash it, it's gonna change colors with you. It's a living garment, and we really, really appreciate that about this cotton. It is a single origin cotton. It is grown only in one farm in the United States, and our spinner in Japan is the exclusive spinner of this yarn. So it's a very rare and exclusive cotton. The history of FoxFibre is incredible, and we're just proud to support Sally and all of her work in championing organic farming, the most sustainable cotton farming, and she's been doing this for decades. She's really a hero in our industry, and it's a shame that more hasn't been done with this cotton. There was a point in time where this could have been the future.
Yeah.
And I could talk a little bit about that. Basically, she was a scientist, and she came across these colored cottons, and at the time she came across them, they were not viable for cotton production. The fiber length was too short, and through her work, she's a scientist, an entomologist, and she was working with cotton, I think for pest control and things like that. She was basically given the challenge, like, you go and develop it. Like, the big cotton producer was like, oh, we can't use that. It's not usable. And anyways, through her work, through selective breeding and organic growing, she was able to. She didn't invent the color of the cotton, but what she did invent was a variety of the cotton with a fiber length long enough to be spun into yarn. She was also a yarn spinner by trade as well. So that's what she's done, and then through all of her work, through decades of growing and moving from one state to the next, and with countless regulations like just basically blocking her from developing this, she still perseveres and continues to champion this type of organic cotton growing and production. She talks about, we've talked to Sally many times, and there's videos on YouTube, and you can find some of these videos, spanning back like to the early 90s when
this was like really becoming big.
Right, when it was becoming big. Yeah. And then what kind of shut everything down was just the world, countries like India and Pakistan and China, they really got in. They had the benefit of building factories for no money. Basically, they got giant loans from World Banks, things like that, to develop their textile industry. So they got tons of money to develop factories, they didn't have to pay for machinery. They didn't have to deal with regulations in terms of, dyeing and cleaning and all that kind of stuff.
That's the biggest part. Like, she called this, like, in one word, like, the reason why that it was becoming big and that it didn't, that changed the course of history was globalization. And I completely agree with that. It's because we decided as a world that, like, we want, things that are cheaper made somewhere else to be sold at, higher price. And because we were already used to the higher price of, things made in America or things made in developed country.
Right.
And
well, the prices were kind of established. Like when if you shopped at some of the big stores, like you might have been able to buy a T-shirt made in USA, and it was like a normal price.
Right.
But when you're flooding the market with product, with material that is coming from factories that don't have to pay for their factories, they don't have to pay for the cotton that they're getting because the governments are providing it to them for free because they're trying to like take over the industry. When you don't have to deal with environmental regulations, all of a sudden
and also cheaper cost of doing things. So like so it's all of those things in one.
Yeah. So these big companies, they look at that and they're like, well, I could buy the American fabric and charge $39.99 for this sweater, or I can buy the foreign-made fabric. Not to say that all foreign fabrics are bad, but I'm specifically talking about these kinds of fabrics. I could buy these cheaper fabrics for a lot less money, and charge the same money or charge more. So, for them, their thought process was like, of course I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. But what that did in turn was take a product that was made in America, made in even in Japan or other countries that were making products the right way, and it said, well, see you later, because nobody is going to buy that because we're getting it for nothing over there. And so that absolutely devastated the textile industry in that sense. And that's why countries like Japan or the United States or Canada, that's why there's very, very few textile mills still around, and the ones that are around are the ones producing some very high quality stuff, because that's all that there's room left for.
Yeah.
Right? There's no way for them to compete at the bottom. They can only compete by making the best.
Yeah. And the cost of things are cheaper overseas, obviously, for because the standard of living is different, but also, again, like Beza casually mentioned, that the regulations are less strict. And what we learned from Sally a while ago was that, like, when you're dyeing fabric in America, the cost of dyeing itself was cheaper than the aftermath. Like, you have to, dyeing might cost a certain amount, but more than that, what it costs is the how to get rid of the waste.
Yeah.
So like it's just like, but you have to build that in, because at the end of the day, this whole thing is the cost of making a dyed fabric or yarn. So like, and we're not as a country who knows and studies and all this environmental impacts, we're not going to get rid of those regulations.
Right.
Japan has a very strict regulations against, dumping, like chemicals down the river and stuff like that, obviously, because, we just know what it can do to people or animals. So it's we can't go back to the days of not knowing those kind of things. So we have to be responsible. And at the same time, like if other countries are like, a little bit more casual about those things.
By a little bit, it's like, oh, you want to get rid of the waste? There's the river.
Yeah.
And like, they're like, oh, the regulation guy's coming? Well, that just means get your bribes ready. Right. We're coming on this day. You better have a little envelope of information for us, all your studies in your envelope for us, so we can check to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, and I'm actually not like, not a person, like, I actually try to, like, every time I have a chance, try to talk about, like, just because it's made in a maybe a, not developed country doesn't mean it's a bad thing. You just don't know. A lot of the times you don't know. I've been to like Chinese factories and stuff like that, and some of them are very serious and like they're super high quality and stuff. But there are millions of factories, and unless you can just like source it like responsibly, some parts of things are happening where you don't know. So I love working with, for instance, this FoxFibre Ultimate Pima. What I love the most about this is that we can trace the raw material back to a single farm.
We know the guy who grew it. We knew the person who made the seed.
Yeah, and then I can trust them to be the top-notch people, right? Like, and then on top of that, and every step of the way, so like Japan, the spinning mill would import the cotton, and then they will spin it, and our like even without Fox, obviously we don't dye or anything like that, but even with our dyed fabric, like these ones, like we know who's dyeing it, we know who's dealing with the fabric, we know who's sewing it, like all of those things are very transparent to us, and we're confident that there's no sketchy things going on. So that's why things are more expensive that way to make, but that just is how we do production.
And certainly we often talk about the expense of our garments, but I have to say, in our hearts we feel that they're expensive, and these aren't cheap by any, you know what I mean? But what I have to say is that thank goodness that a lot of these fashion companies who are making products at an equivalent level of fast fashion companies are charging more and more for their products, because it in some ways makes our products look a lot less expensive. Like if you go to the designer store, go to your fancy street in whatever city you live in, and go to the designer store and see what they charge for a hoodie. It isn't going to be made with materials like ours. They might use a good material, but it's not going to be like materials like ours, and they're going to be a lot of money. So thankfully, in that respect, in some ways I can feel like, those guys charge you so much more money for a hoodie. Not that, I don't think you people in here would buy that kind of stuff, but, the cost of our products is definitely reflected in the types of materials and the types of people that we deal with. But, I know they're expensive. They're expensive.
But at least we're doing something that we 100% know how it's made and very proud of it. I think it's just one of those things where, like, it costs what it costs because of that.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't trade it for anything else.
Right. We're not trying to race to. We're trying to give you the best price we can for these items, but some of these items they're priced the way they are for a reason. Now, also in the chat, if there's a question I didn't ask, feel free to ask it as many times as you can, because if I don't answer it, I might have not seen it, but spam me if you have to. Joshua Vasquez says, not trying to sound like a broken record, don't worry about it, but thoughts on a heavyweight poncho or sarape? Not in the cards yet, but I'm not opposed to it, though I think it would really depend on the right fabric. Mm-hmm. I don't know if, for me, just a pullover hoodie is kind of covers that, but if we had the right material, maybe there's room for something like that.
I like that question underneath. Wolvalan. Any plans to use the green variant of FoxFibre? Yeah, so as you know, some of you know, the FoxFibre we are using right now is only brown kinds. So different darkness of browns, but we love the brown, and it's just a great color. But green, they suddenly also developed the green cotton variant. So it's not like a green like that you picture when you hear, like, it's not like that kind of green. It's a more earthy green.
Yeah.
And the green one has a very like distinct like color changing property. Like we said, like the brown one also over wash and over like exposure to sun and stuff like that. The color changes, but green changes more drastically. So there are ways to work around it. We just don't want to have like sell something as like we don't know how it's going to turn out.
Right.
We want you guys to be able to see how things are going to develop and stuff like that. So I just want to maybe a little bit more do more research and do more like selection to have the right green.
But the answer to that is yes, it's coming.
It's
It's in the pipeline. We're very familiar with all the varieties that Sally has to offer, and we work very closely with the yarn spinning mill here that imports her cottons.
The spinning mill has like obviously they're the professional of dealing with the different color changes and all that stuff. So they have like showed us a lot of options. So we're just gonna have to figure out what we want to do.
Yeah. And somebody was asking about the tag on the Wonder Looper FoxFibre shirt. So this is a tag that you will find on these t-shirts. So yeah, this is a new tag. So we're gonna try to develop more tags that are more closely designed for the garments themselves. So you'll see more tag variety from us. This is something you'll see in the future. So, we're small. Risa drew this herself. Like all these tags, like we sit behind the computer and we're making them ourselves. There's no designer for us. Like we don't have all these kinds of resources. Not yet. As we grow, maybe we'll have a little bit more. Which also goes back to like, why is my handsome face the only model on the website? It's because I work for free.
So it's taken in at home. It's just easy.
So it is a little cost savings, but what I don't pay for, you don't pay for. So
but going back to the tag, that this tag is also made using FoxFibre. It's hard to see here, but like it's not a white or like a ecru tag. It's like little bit of a brown in real life, and that brown part is because of FoxFibre.
Yeah, so a fully FoxFibre tag. Well, not the green part, but it's pretty FoxFibre-y. Yeah,
pretty FoxFibre.
Pretty FoxFibre. I'm just gonna constantly apologize for the lighting because we're using blinds and a natural light, and the clouds are in the sky, causing all kinds of havoc. So my apologies. One day we will have a better setup. Arif asked, is the tag a FoxFibre cotton as well? And yes, it is. Okay. Chief Miggy writes, Bayzad, are you the creative director at Wonder Looper and Naked and Famous? Well, Wonder Looper is mine and Risa's, so we do that. We do everything ourselves here. Naked and Famous is Brandon's company, and we do a lot of creative. Risa and I do a lot of the creative direction there as well. But it is a more of a team effort over at Naked and Famous. Brandon obviously has input, and there's other employees that have input as well. But we do.
And we also don't stick to like titles like creative director and. Yeah,
I'm the floor sweeper. That's it. I sweep. It's funny. Like there was like in the This Week at Tate and Yoko video, a couple on the Naked and Famous YouTube channel. Like we're in New York, and I'm like vigorously vacuuming the store. I'm like, there's no job I won't do. I will literally do anything. Okay. Vince Chan, man, the FoxFibre is gonna look mighty nice with those MIJ 13s. I think so. That said, spring summer deliveries. We've got Super Looper. I want to show off some of the other colors. So it's going to come out in a variety of colors. So we've got the classic heathered gray here. Man, this sun is really bugging me today. Sorry, guys. We've got what Risa's pulling out right now.
Okay, different items, different colors. All right, so we have the blue. Like royal blue.
Yeah, so we really went for like very 70s kind of inspired sporty colors,
athletic wear kind of things. So it's the same random loops inside, same nice soft fabric, but in pretty vivid blue, royal blue. We got red.
Yeah, so very, very classic, very bright red. It's a little bright on the camera here. It's not like quite that bright red in real life.
Yeah.
But a bright red, a bright blue, very primary colors, and then the green as well. So you get 4 colors here in the Super Looper French Terry. I know I'm showing them off quite beautifully, as you can see. And then another thing that I really like about this is that the colors really mix and match well together.
Yeah.
So
you can have like an outfit like this.
Yeah.
And you can be in like a 90s commercials, but sportswear.
Yeah,
80s
get some Gatorade. You'll be ready to go. Be like Mike. But yeah, and then this is the crazy thing that we're doing because we just had to do it. So we did the sweatpants, which I thought were nuts, but you guys loved them, and we loved them, but I didn't know. I didn't know how you guys would react to them. You reacted well. But we're doing the sweat shorts, and these are Tsuriami sweat shorts. Nobody does Tsuriami sweat shorts.
Yeah.
Except these guys. These guys do Tsuriami sweat shorts.
Are rare to begin with, which I don't understand why they're so comfortable.
They're very
and
comfortable.
Also in the summertime, who wants to wear long pants all the time? It depends on where you live, obviously. Right. But in Japan,
it gets really hot here.
But, okay, so I love the green because it kind of makes it's kind of like this fake lawn.
Yeah, it looks like AstroTurf.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like AstroTurf. It feels super billowy and comfortable. It really is like wearing like a thick plush towel. It's so comfortable, and I'm really excited to get these out to you guys. So like we said, 4 colors here: the green, the primary blue, the red, and the heathered gray. So 4 wonderful colors here. These will be here in like April, May territory, something around there. So right as the weather is getting nice and you're ready to play sports outside.
Yeah. So the problem with Tsuriami,
let's hear it,
is that it takes so long. Like we explained, it just does 1 row at a time, so it takes so long to knit the fabric. And because the machines are so limited, even in Japan, there's only a couple of mills that works these Tsuriami machines. So capacity is very, very limited. And everybody is, aware of this amazing fabric. So it's a very popular thing.
Yeah.
And that's why our delivery gets pushed and pushed.
Yeah. When you work with these fabrics, especially because we're not using running fabrics. The running fabrics you can order, you can get it, it's fine. But with us, it's all like production is delay. There's a little bit of a delay, and like you just have to accept it. That's just the way it works with us. And so like, for us, seasonal deliveries where like from a typical brand you would like, we might use the word spring, summer, fall, winter, but like our deliveries are gonna be like, well, they're ready when they're ready.
Yeah.
Right. Like obviously, I'm gonna try not to deliver like summery garments in mid-November.
Right.
Right. We're aiming for a certain window, but things just kind of are gonna come as they come because you can't rush this process because there's no way to rush this process. Those machines knit 1 meter of fabric per hour. That's it. They don't work any faster than that. And, there's a limited number of the machines that are running, and only a very small number of those machines are running to make new things. So we would love to make more, and that's another thing is that like we get a lot of retailers reaching out to us asking, can we carry Wonder Looper? And we want to work with more people, but at the same time, there's only a certain amount of fabric that we get. When we commit to a fabric, we say we're going to make this much. And that's based off of, what we assume is going to, satisfy our customer base. So if a new customer comes along and says, I want to order that, I can't miraculously make 50 more sweatshirts. All I'm doing is taking the sweatshirts that we have already, kind of planned for and split it up against more people. And that, I don't know, it's hard for us to do that. So as far as expansion goes, it'll be slow. But I think we have partnered up already with some great retailers that have good reach and they have the ability to tell the stories about the products that we're making. And which I think is a very important part of the Wonder Looper, this big part of us, because, if you saw this just on its own, you might just think it's a brown t-shirt, right? So you need to understand why this t-shirt is the way it is. So we have to work with retailers and partners who have the ability to tell stories and inform the customer about the products that they're buying. So it requires more intelligence on everybody's end. So not to say that the people we don't work with, because there are a lot of intelligent people that have approached us, it's just that we can't expand at the way that some of the demand is coming in. And obviously, when you see the website, you see sold out everywhere. It's not by design. I would love to sell more sweaters, but your appetite for these things has just absolutely blown us away. And whenever we do a production lot, I'm thinking, okay, I think this is enough. And this is based off of everything I've done my whole life, production planning. And, even then, gone. So thank you very much for that. We do appreciate your unbelievable support.
Yeah, so going back to the availability, we would have Pullover hoodie. We would have Pullover hoodie. We would have a zip hoodie.
Yeah.
Zip hoodie has a contrast zip, which I really like.
Yeah.
And then
shorts,
and then the Crewneck.
Yeah.
So 4 items.
Yeah. No sweatpants in this production, but we do have the sweat shorts. Cool.
Yeah.
And Risa, do you have pricing on those?
Yeah.
Okay, so Risa's gonna let you know the price. I'm gonna hang these back up.
Okay. So the pricing is for the hoodie, pullover hoodie. It's actually the same price as double heavyweight products. So I have the just to explain, our pricing is based off in Japanese yen. So we set our price in Japanese yen, and then when you come to shop on our online store, you are seeing the current exchange rate rated into your base currency.
Yeah.
If you're in America, US dollar, you might see that on the website. But it fluctuates based on that day or hour. I don't know how often.
So you might see a few dollars
might
change here and there every now and then.
And then also our retail partners are setting their price based off of the current the rate of
when they paid for it.
Purchased.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So sometimes there's price discrepancies and slightly, and because Japanese yen is very, very cheap right now, and it's kind of stabilizing there, but who knows what's going to happen. So I'm just going to talk to you in today's rate, but that's just a reference point. The pullover hoodie is 44,000 yen, which is at today's rate it's $295. The zip hoodie is 46,000, which at today's rate $308 US dollars. The Crewneck is 35, which is $235. And the sweatshirt is 30,000, which is $200 right now. Yeah.
So there you go. Now, there's a good question. Arif says, have you seen people repairing Wonder Looper sweats similar to denim repair, i.e. patching or sashiko? The answer is yes, only because I have a friend here in Japan who does custom work. I haven't seen people having issues with their garments, really. So I don't really see that happening. But the only thing I have seen is a buddy of mine who does incredible patchwork and repair work take one of our hoodies and distress it and dye it, and then did a bunch of sashiko on it. There you go. So Wild Frontier Goods, our friend over there, his name is Mike, and this was on one of our double heavyweight hoodies, and you can see he did him and his wife do all this stuff. So they distressed it, they put some holes in it, then they did some sashiko on it. Yeah, you can see a little bit more of it here. So he like distressed up the edges here. So yeah, if you want a custom job, he does custom dyeing for people. I know we've had a couple customers who order a t-shirt from us and then they say, send it to Mike. Yeah. You have to talk to Mike. Yeah. You have to talk to them directly, arrange it. And if you want him to like do something special for you, but what we will do is we'll ship it to him. He'll, dye it or distress it or whatever it is that you've arranged with him. And then
send it back to us, and then
we'll ship it out. Yeah. So there's no need to pay for like a separate shipping or anything like that. Like whatever shipping you pay on the Wonder Looper website, we send it over to Mike. Mike handles it. He'll send it back to us, and then we send it out.
And
to
sometimes
you.
we meet him in person.
Oh yeah.
So like we're not charging you for the domestic shipping between us and Frontier Goods or anything like that. Just for the dyeing job itself, you have to work with Wild Frontier Goods directly.
Chris Lauren says, that's my Wild Frontier hoodie.
Oh,
the best. Nice. There's also a Shibori hoodie they did. That's right. Mike is known out here in the chat. This is one of, I think that's the FoxFibre hoodie.
FoxFibre, yeah.
Let's check that one out. So Indigo dyed a FoxFibre hoodie. And I think this is a thing for one of his bags, but yeah, Mike over here did a great job with that hoodie as well. Nicholas Vilpu writes, Mike and Noriko are great. They are great. They're very, very nice people, that's for sure.
Yeah, very talented as well.
Paul writes, did you mention how much the FoxFibre tee will be?
Oh, I did not. Okay. I don't think.
This is going to double check for you.
Do I have it here?
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem. We have all the information.
Sure that it's not wrong. Okay, so the Fox Tsuriami t-shirts is gonna retail at 19,500 yen, which at current rate is $130.
Okay, so there you go. 19,500 yen. And the current exchange rate of $130. US dollars, yeah. Justin writes, I remember the mills were sometimes reluctant to work with Wonder Looper. With a few pretty impressive cycles behind you, are you starting to come around? Or are they starting to come around? Yeah.
I mean, not that we were like they were. Yeah, I mean, I would say, when you're brand new brand. And especially, like I said in the beginning, like we know we worked with many mills in Japan in the woven side, but on the knit side we didn't, and the factories do. So it's like when they don't know you, they're a little bit skeptical. And
when you're asking for a lot of special stuff, they're like,
it's like they were really pushing us to do you could just pick a running fabric, and that's so much easier. And it's like, but why would we do that? So it was a little bit of in the start, there was definitely a bit of a struggle, but we actually ended up with great partners that we work with currently, and we're very happy with it. So
so we'll have a little bit more leeway with them, hopefully, as we continue to grow. And they like it when they send us a big invoice and then we pay it on time. They love it.
But to be fair, in Japan, everybody pays on time.
That may be true.
Most people pay on time.
Yeah. There was
it's not like
other places. But yeah, they. I remember one of our first meetings with the factory, and the guy was like, is this like a social crowdfunding kind of business, And we're like, no. And he's like,
they did not like they do not like Kickstarter brands and stuff like that,
because they're like, that's a one shot pony, and like it's a lot of work to set up all everything new with people, and they're like, they don't want to work with someone once. They want to work with someone for a long time. So, getting your foot in the door is hard, and then convincing them that you're the right partner is another thing. And then once you've shown them, okay, we can do multiple businesses and the business is decent, then it's okay. Mm-hmm. Then you go start going out for dinners and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yes. Business dinners. Okay. C. Sanchez writes, sorry, I think I missed it. When is the re-up coming for the charcoal tees? I got a pullover over with my newborn's name on it. Fantastic. Number one, baby number two on the way. We'll do a t-shirt with their name. Fantastic. Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, you can't just have one kid. If you have two kids, you can't just have one kid's name.
Or you just keep listing them. The charcoal tees will be back in March. I whatever I say, Risa's like, Risa's the production manager.
I also hate to make a promise that I might not be able to keep.
Okay.
I'm very cautious about that. So it's possible we can release it in March.
Yes.
I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
But cautious.
I'm very optimistic. And very optimistic. Juan Puedo, Naked and Famous Wonder Looper denim dyed shirts and hoodies. You never know. Okay. Cathedral Ring, those are going to be gone in 10 minutes. Be there early, people. Well, we will let everybody know when things drop, right? So you'll have a lot of advance warning. Of course, we've got retail partners that will carry it as well.
Yeah.
We're not the only game in town. We like to spread the word of Wonder Looper out and about, so...
Yeah, and it depends on the retail partner. Some people are very quick to receive a good and then release it online, but there are different timings. So just even with our the hoodies and stuff like that we're sold out currently on the website, if you're looking for something, always check our Stockist page and go to their links. I linked the pages to a Wonder Looper page of the partners.
So you click on Stockist here, and then for example, James Dant over in America, and you can see what they have available.
Some of the things are still available at retail partners. So
So it might be sold out on our website, but they may have some availability here as well. So be sure to go through that, and out of stock here, in stock, out of stock. So be sure to check all that good stuff out. Casa Denim in Mexico.
Yeah. I don't think they have anything.
Oh, left. I see. They might be. Might not have it on the website. Okay, so anyhow, this is our current stock list. It will be growing a little bit this upcoming season. We have Fancy Groceries in America joining the party, as well as Blue Owl Workshop. They're going to be joining the party as well. So a little bit more, love in America. America's a big country, big place. A lot of you guys, our customers, are in America, so that's where we're seeing a little bit more expansion. And then we'll try to spread it out a little bit more throughout Europe. But in Europe, of course, you've got some great partners. You've got Jean Store in the UK. Unfortunately, Working Title guys, they're going to be closing their store soon. But
if that's enough official information, but
no, it's on their Instagram.
Oh, okay.
I think it's on their Instagram.
Didn't want to be.
If I outed you, sorry, but that anyhow, Jean Store, Working Title has been a great partner of ours, but that's sometimes just the way of the world. Cultism in Germany, great supporter of ours. Red Cast Heritage, especially. Austria, Sunset Star, they've been partners since day one. So there's a lot of places here to shop, no matter where you are in the world. And, we wanted to partner with great, known partners in the industry that know how to tell stories. They know about Japanese products, and they have, great relationships with this type of community. So, you have some options there for you. Jonathan writes, you should call this To Be Fair podcast. I do say To Be Fair.
I do say To Be Fair.
I say it a lot.
I don't know which one started it, but it's between the two of us, we say that a lot.
To Be Fair. It's just, us isms. You're gonna hear it. Juan Puedo writes, do you ever plan on making knit caps?
Not right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, never say never.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Arif writes, Redcast Heritage equals the team that got me into denim. Right?
That's
fantastic.
Great. They're so nice people.
Very, very nice people. Yeah. We really only work with nice people.
Yeah. I mean, like, what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point otherwise? Yeah, I cannot stand working with not nice people. It really bugs me. I have to feel like we are friends in order for me to work with you.
Yeah. But the Red Casket guys, especially, they're so nice. I don't know if it's like the Latin,
Yeah. we didn't know them before Wonder Looper. Like, we knew of them, but we never met them. Right. We never spoke to them before. They came to Japan. We had a really wonderful evening with them. Just
hit it off.
S rank people. Yeah. Just the top ranking of kinds of people out there.
Everybody we'll work with is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, Fancy Groceries.
Yeah. Fancy Groceries is in the chat. Good to see you, Max. Fantastic to have you here. There's a comment here. From Ian writes, can't wait for Fancy Groceries to get Wonder Looper. I don't live too far away from them. So there you go. We're growing the Wonder Looper family just a little bit, but of course with only the best and the nicest people around. Andrew Furasella writes, a Rose Anvil got me into the Iron Snail, who got me into Bezat and Risa.
Oh.
Well, there you go. Nice. Yeah, Michael, and I don't know the Rose Anvil guy. I've seen his YouTube, but I've never had the chance to talk to him. Maybe one day. We're all on YouTube. We all know each other, right? That's sometimes people think. I do know. I mean, I've met a lot of people through YouTube now that we've been on YouTube, but I don't think anyone suspects that everyone on YouTube knows everyone on YouTube. But yeah, let me just call whoever the biggest YouTuber is.
Yeah.
Anyhow, with all that said, let's talk about Fall Winter 24.
Yeah.
Because
it's been an hour.
Yeah, I put that teaser of this sweatshirt in the Instagram. We got to talk about it.
Yes.
Because this is, I'm wearing it. This is the big bad beefy boy. A lot of, I don't know. We got a lot of bees. A lot of bees on Bezat. This is the 825 GSM double heavyweight French terry FoxFibre.
Yeah. So we basically made this double heavyweight fabric with FoxFibre yarns, and the beauty of this is that we already we like this space. Everybody likes this space, so we're just like, okay, let's not try and like do something completely different. We wanted to make a FoxFibre like a sweatshirt, but we just wanted to work with this piece.
Yes.
It's amazing. And so we like, approached the mills about it, and they're like, I don't think we make that like the yarn size. It's a big size of yarn, like the thickness. But we really wanted it, and we really wanted it in this shade.
Yes.
So we, asked them, and they were nice enough to work with us.
Yeah.
And so it's actually this weight of FoxFibre sweatshirts is world's first.
Yes. There's never been a FoxFibre garment this heavy, or fabric this heavy before.
I believe not. Like, who knows what happened back in the 90s, but I
don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. 825 GSM. Our current double heavyweight sweatshirts come in at 709 GSM. So these are even heavier. I didn't go all the way to call it. Anyway, once we pass the kilogram mark, which, who knows? I don't know. Maybe one day we'll get there. Then we'll call, I don't know if we'll even call that triple heavyweight, but we'll call it at least, I think we had the 1 kgsm. KGSM. Yeah.
KGSM, yeah.
So this is a very, very beefy boy. Very, very thick, 825 GSM. I weighed the hoodie on just my kitchen scale, and it was an unofficial weight.
That was a pullover hoodie.
Just a pullover hoodie.
Yeah.
and that came in at just about 3 pounds. It is a beast. So
that's a size medium also. Our sample is a size medium pullover hoodie.
Yeah. So you can see it right here.
Almost 3 pounds.
We're going to have it available in all the fits that you can expect. So the crew neck, the pullover hoodie, the zip hoodie, and the sweatpants. So you can go full set here if you want. We're making it. It's extreme. This is going to be coming out in the fall. Now, we don't have a date set for this quite yet because it's still, fall is still kind of up in the air. Pricing is a little up in the air, but...
Yeah, I mean, I can maybe give you, it's not fine, should I say it? It's not final.
You can give them a ballpark because we're still working it out with the mills and all that stuff.
I mean, I guess it's final in a way that we commit to it and...
Okay, Risa's gonna do it.
Should we?
Risa's the boss. Risa says it, it's the way it is.
Okay, so let's just pull up the good old
currency converter
so that you can have. So, hoodie, pullover hoodie. Pullover hoodie, 68,000 yen, 455 US dollars.
455 USD ish on the pullover hoodie.
As of today's rate.
Yeah, 68,000 Japanese yen.
Yeah. So I mean,
a pretty penny, but it's a lot of FoxFibre. It's a lot of hoodie. You know, sometimes I'll hear the criticism like, you know, I've seen, you know, YouTube comments here and there. It's like, you know, like our double heavyweight T-shirt. They'll be like, over $100 for a T-shirt? That's crazy. I'm like, but if you consider the GSM, if you consider the amount of cotton, that's double the amount of cotton that you would find in a regular heavyweight T-shirt, right? So it's like, you know, I wouldn't say it's like buying 2 T-shirts, but in a way it's like buying 2 T-shirts. So yes, it is a hoodie. For those people who are going to criticize, you're not in the crowd. Why would you guys criticize me? Yes, it's a hoodie, but it's a lot of hoodie. It's a lot of cotton. It's a lot of specialty cotton. It's custom yarn. It's custom all the way.
Yeah.
This is bespoke. This is not mass production, and we just had to push it. We had to go all the way with it, and here it is. I think this is the kind of garment that you're going to enjoy for very, very, very many years to come. And if you already have our double heavyweight sweatshirts, you've washed them, you've worn them, you've washed them, you've worn them, and those things are pretty, I wouldn't say they're indestructible, because nothing's indestructible, but they're a very resilient garment, that's for sure. You know, our double heavyweight T-shirts, those in the Ultimate Pimas, I wear them every day. They get washed all the time. They hold up incredibly. The collars especially hold up incredibly. So I think through, you know, wear and tear and, you know, proof of, with all you guys enjoying the products, you'll see that the value will come out the longer that you wear it.
And also, this is a thing that, like, you know, this fabric is extremely expensive, and the mill knows that. And it's like, there's, you know, they're like, are you going to be able to make this in production and, you know, sell it as a production level? And they were very pessimistic about it. It's like, I don't think you can sell this. It's too expensive. Yeah. And then they suggested that we would use like a regular cotton, you know, we could use organic cotton or whatever, but like non-FoxFibre, like, you know, white cotton on the inside, so that outside is brown, but inside is not FoxFibre. Yeah. Oh, you can even dye it. That's what they said. Yeah. You can even dye it to match the color inside. And it's like, what's the point of that? Yeah. What is the point of using FoxFibre even on the outside if we're gonna dye it? Yeah. So we just kind of like, you know, it is.
Anyhow, we're gonna show them that what we do and what we do with you is we're serious about what we make, and our customers are serious about serious products. Mm-hmm. And like, I get it. Look, you're seeing that, you're like, just like one of the most expensive fabrics we've ever made, and yeah, it is. But we've got people, we know people who appreciate this kind of craftsmanship, this work, and we're going to show you that it is something to believe in. So when we come up with the next crazy idea, which there will be, there's a list of them, you can be confident with us.
Yeah.
Ian writes, they obviously don't know your customer base. Yeah, I think, because they deal with, they don't, we're very unique in this realm, right? So I understand the skepticism, and they're like, look, we want you, because for them, they're like, well, if we give you a better price, then you're going to sell more, and then we're going to make more. So that's their way of thinking, but we're like, we're going to sell, it's going to sell anyways. Don't worry. Believe in us. Believe in us. You guys do. So
yeah. No, it's not going to be a mass product, but we did make no compromise.
Yeah.
Made exactly what we wanted to make, so proud of it.
Yes. Brendan DeGal writes, how do I get one of these? Well, these are going to be available in the fall. So wait for more info on this as the year progresses. We'll do live streams maybe once every every 2 months or so, something like that. Just kind of what our schedule has been. So, and then pay attention to our social media. Instagram's been a little bit barren these days, but it's been busy. But I really prefer to have these meetings with you guys. Okay, so that is double heavyweight FoxFibre. We got FoxFibre tees coming out this spring summer, probably late Q2 delivery. FoxFibre double heavyweight 825 GSM 3-pound sweatshirt bad boys worn by Bezad coming out in the fall. We've got the fleeced FoxFibre. You guys know this sweatshirt already. That will be a repeat coming for the fall. So the Raffi cotton, the recycled cotton on the outside, combined with the fleeced FoxFibre interior on the inside. You can, I think we don't have any on the website right now, but I think some of our retail partners might have a few of these.
I think we might have like a bigger size available on our website.
I know Tati and Yoko had the charcoal zip hoodie in stock. There was a couple of those left, but
charcoal hoodie.
Yeah, charcoal.
Hoodie.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So fleece, FoxFibre, very, very cozy sweatshirt. So we'll have that also available as a FoxFibre option. So these are coming back for the fall. In addition to all of our not every color of double heavyweight sweatshirt, but most of them are coming back for the fall. Look who it is in the chat. It is Sally Fox.
Oh,
Sally's here. I
Sally.
believe in you. Thank you very much for the beautiful products so carefully designed and produced. Well, Sally, it's all thanks to you, in fact. So everybody, Sally's here. This is really wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's like having a podcast about like a musician, and that musician comes.
That's it. Sally's like the rock star of the cotton world. She's a national treasure, everybody. So there it is. Andrew Furasella writes, is that the Sally Fox? It is. Sally's in the house. Well, thank you, Sally. We're very happy to have you here. You're brightening our day. Look at that.
Sally Fox is the goat.
That's it. Everybody in the chat is excited. Fantastic. Very, very wonderful for you to be here. I wanted to also talk about the other T-shirt that we're dropping for fall winter.
Yes.
And this is another
beefcake.
Yeah, beefcake.
If I might say so.
Beefcake. Sorry to the vegans out there. There is a lot of beef. There's a lot of beef in these shirts with no actual meat, but
it's all plant-based.
Yeah,
guys.
it's plant-based. Plant-based. You guys know about that.
Okay. So we have a black and white sample.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna show the white. This might not have the impact that I wanted to have on the screen, but this fabric is insanely heavy. It is what we called triple heavyweight Tsuriami t-shirts.
Yes. So, when we made the double heavyweight t-shirt, we believed it to be the heaviest t-shirt around at 425 GSM. And now, when it came out, you know, there was a little murmuring, oh, this company makes a little bit heavier, this company makes a little... Okay, fine. We're in the conversation of, like, what's the heaviest t-shirt? Well, these are the heaviest t-shirts around. Well, I don't want there to be a conversation anymore. I want to shut down the conversation. I want to blow the conversation up because we've just done it. This is the king of the castle, the top of the top. This is 593 GSM triple heavyweight Tsuriami made with Texas cotton. This is the heaviest t-shirt there is. It's the heaviest Tsuriami there is. This is a bad t-shirt. This is for bad boys. It's a very, very beefy t-shirt. It is as heavy as they come. It is armor. You know, when I picked up the double heavyweight t-shirt for the first time, I just remembered. We got the first sample. I opened it up and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Well, that feeling has come back. This is just huge. It is heavy. It's beefy. It's slubby. It's hard to see the slub. I will get some like better photos on Instagram after the live stream. I will take some pictures and put it up just so you can see it. Yeah, the white is not showing it up so well, but
even the black, I think it's hard.
yeah, weight wise at 593 GSM, what does that come out to? It's something.
Ounce?
Yeah, Lisa's gonna do the calculation for us, but it's thick. Ian M writes, it looks like it could stand up on its own. It
Probably
can't because
not.
it's not starchy enough, but it's thick.
It's 17 and a half.
17 and a half ounces per square yard, if you're thinking in denim terms. So very, very thick, very heavy. Maybe now that the lighting isn't so bright, you might be able to see some of the slub texture. But anyhow, very, very thick. It's coming in white. It's coming in black. So 2 color options to start. And, you know, with time, who knows, we might add some other color options. So this is us simply, not that there was any complaints with the heavyweightness of the double heavyweight t-shirt. Everyone loves those. But I just could not stand not having
The obvious crown.
Yeah, the obvious crown. It wasn't like, oh, we'll do it by like a couple of grams here and there. No. This is the king of the castle. Everything else is the dirty rascal. And it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. Look, this is going to be very expensive.
Yeah. So there is the difference. We're continuing with double heavyweight t-shirts. That is our that is a our double heavyweight standard. It's just the place will never go away. This one is another thing.
A whole nother level.
Different category.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I also personally think that some people have different threshold of heavyweight t-shirts. You still have to feel comfortable. So if maybe it's too heavy for some people.
That's
to be
true.
honest, it might be too heavy for me. Honestly.
It might be too heavy for a lot of people.
Yeah, but we also wanted to have a separate product.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be also obviously like a different like scale, different like level. This is Tsuriami. It is slubby, and it's also Texas cotton. We sourced a very good cotton from the country of
America.
United States. Yes. So it's just like a different product category. Not that like I mean.
Yeah. Look, it's not in terms of like, good, better, best. It doesn't mean it's better than the double heavyweight. It's just it's another level. It's a different product category.
Yeah.
So
and it is way pricier.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of
this is the point where like diminishing returns. This is all there's no. But yeah, if you are desiring the most extreme, the heaviest, the slubbiest, the most secure feeling t-shirt you could ever have, well, this is it. And we're happy to be bringing it to you because who else is going to bring it to you? we're going to bring it to you.
Yeah.
Available in 2 colors, white and the black. Priced at...
This is preliminary. It's possible that it may change, but we're pricing at 40,000 Japanese yen, which is $268 US.
Yeah. So when I talk about diminishing returns on this one, a lot of diminishing returns. But to get it to this scale, just to move it an inch, it takes a mile. So that's basically where we've landed with this one. It's the extreme for the extreme. But it exists now, and it is the king of the heavyweight t-shirts.
You know what I like when I realized how heavy, because when Beza tried it on, like I just couldn't believe how thick this part was.
Yeah.
Like
we actually are adjusting the pattern a little bit on this because the fabric bulks up quite a lot. So we're moving the armholes down and expanding that just a little bit more to accommodate that. So fit-wise, it's going to look like the double heavyweight fit, but technically the pattern is going to be a little bit different just to accommodate for the
extra cotton that you're going to be carrying.
Yeah.
It's going to be a heavy t-shirt.
It's going to be a heavy t-shirt.
No, as in, like, it's obviously heavy, but like you're going to feel it.
Right. Chief Miggy writes, I thought it was going to be $300 plus. All right. Well, then, there you go.
All right.
It's a savings. It is an expensive tee, but again, at this weight, we're talking about 3 times the weight of a typical heavyweight t-shirt. And if, one heavyweight, high quality Tsuriami t-shirt costs $100, well, 3 of them cost $300. And this is a little bit less than that. So savings. See, that's why I did so good in math. Not too good in math. Okay.
Yeah.
Jap27 writes, is it oversized or the same as the double heavyweight? Fit-wise, it will fit like the double heavyweight. Spec-wise, it'll look a little bit, maybe the measurements might come out a little bit different, but that's only to accommodate the fit.
Yeah, we're only changing the armhole, so like the chest measurement shouldn't change, the length.
Well, it might change a bit because it's pit to pit, and if it's down a little bit more, anyhow.
No, but it's still pit to pit. We're not gonna change the width.
Anyhow, we'll let you know the measurements when they come through, but yeah, they're designed to fit like the double heavyweights. Okay. Chris Correas writes, anything indigo dyed this year? Good question. Because we do have an indigo dyed sweatshirt in the works. Let's take a look. So this sweatshirt here is still in developmental stage. We have the fabric is developed. We're just finalizing things with the factory. There's a couple of things to finalize with this one. So I do not have a release date set for this yet. But just stick around with us and we will get you there. But this is going to be our indigo dyed sweatshirt with a blanket, like a vintage blanket lined style interior. So you have this beautiful like maroon and gray and navy stripe on the inside with real indigo dye on the outside. In fact, like you can see, it might be hard to see here, but like even on the cords, like the indigo will come off and fade onto here. So it's a if you like denim, this is inspired by vintage denim jackets, but in hoodie form. So
it will stain a lot of things. Just be careful.
The first couple washes, you're going to lose probably quite a little bit of blue, but it will take on your creasing, and especially in the arms, I think you're going to get a lot of fading here.
Yeah. And what's great about this neb interior is that it's like a bunch of multicolored nebs.
Yeah.
Just like really fun, but it's very like subtle.
Let me get a book. I'm going to show a blanket jacket.
Book. And we obviously had to go with indigo dyed ribs so that that as the body of the fabric fades, it's going to fade with the rib as well. So the rib is the stretchy part at the end of your sleeves and your body, and we also have a ribbed side side ribs. So it kind of like stretches with you when you need the movement and stuff like that. So these are not like blanket lined. It's fully indigo dyed though. So it is a great product. It's just it might turn your hands blue for the first few times that you wear them. But yeah, we're very excited about it. We are going to release it. It might not be this year that we're going to be able to release it, but I think it's, you know, it's a kind of like an all year weight. It is, what's the weight here? It is 450 GSM. So, you know, it's not a thin fabric by any means, but as a sweatshirt, it's not too heavy.
Yeah. And like these are like the vintage denim jackets that really inspired the interior. So if you ever get a chance to like handle them and see them in person, you'll see just kind of how like fuzzy they are, and they have like colorful neps on the inside, and then they have that navy and red stripe. So yeah, that's essentially the inspiration for this sweatshirt.
And I love these details of, you know, wherever we sew with flat seam construction, that would be like where like the sleeve, raglan sleeve goes, and on the side you see the like the stripy nippy interior coming out. So
right,
it's very cute.
Yeah. Are the 825 GSM FoxFibre and Indigo hoodies Tsuriami?
This one is not. This one is not. I'm pretty sure. Gotta double check. But no, this one is not. But and this one is not because it's too heavy.
Yeah.
It's just not possible. The t-shirts, the 593 GSM triple heavyweight t-shirt, FoxFibre t-shirt, they are and Super Looper.
Yeah.
Out of all the things that we showed, those are going to be Tsuriami.
Yeah. So there you have it. All right, we'll take this moment here to like answer a couple of like final questions. If there's anything that you guys would like to know, this is your chance to ask. And I will also ask you all to hit that like button if you haven't done so already. If you're enjoying this type of, you know, content, very loopy related content, loop being the construction of knitwear, hit the like button. Let us know how much you appreciate this kind of content, and it also helps other people discover us on the internet as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Minwa Maxime writes, Did I see a black zip on the charcoal hoodie?
The zip, charcoal hoodie?
No. I don't.
No. Wait. Charcoal hoodie, as in the.
I don't know. There's no black. There's no black zips.
No, there's no black zip.
The answer is no.
Yeah. Maybe we just had a random sample.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Speaking of black zips, hold on. I gotta show that black zipper.
Oh yeah. And some of you might be aware if you subscribe to a newsletter, or was it Instagram?
Yes. No, the newsletter.
Yeah. We did have. We you know, we're always looking for something fun to get into, and we were.
Where did I put it?
Trying to see if. Maybe in there?
Oh, I think it might be in here.
We're trying to see if we could find a very special zipper. We already use our Waldy's zipper on our hoodies, all of them, and there are like vintage metal zippers that is made in Japan using the vintage method. It has a lot of hand operations, and we really like it. But they also like are kind of crazy about like vintage things. So they have this in their catalog, in their product lineup. They had this crazy like insane, you know, like just torture device looking zipper. And we wanted to sample it and see like if we can actually use this zipper in our product lineup at some point. And turns out we can't. But
I'm gonna have to find it.
okay, let me find it. No. let me find it. I'm sure.
You think you know where it is? I don't know why I shouldn't have lost it, because it's very expensive. But it's... Oh, there you go. Risa knew where it was all along. But this is one of the craziest zippers I've ever seen. I saw it, and we're like, we have to use this. We have to use this for something. And initially, I wanted to use this zipper on, like, the Indigo sweatshirt. And so we called them, and we're like, okay, we'd like to order this zipper. Can we get some pricing on that one? And pricing-wise, this is going to add like $150 to the retail price, if not more.
I think that's not enough.
Right. So anyhow,
That's not enough.
just adding this zipper.
Yeah, I think it would add like $250.
Yeah. So a ridiculous amount. And I was like, what? No. Are you adding a zero by accident? Like, this is wrong. I'm like, no, that's the price. And so this is that zipper. And as you can see, it is not like any zipper you've ever seen before. And when you look at the way it functions, the teeth here, hopefully you can see it, they're like sharp little blades. They're not that sharp, but they're like these hooks that hook into the side of the zipper here. So, it's not like a regular zipper kind of has like these teeth that lock into place. These are little hooks that jam into the holes of this side. And so, yeah, it zips up just fine. It looks really cool, but just too expensive to ever use. And I'm like, how do you make this? And who buys this? And I think the answer is they make it just to like satisfy themselves that they can. And who uses it is nobody. Just like everybody will buy one.
I think it's for like, if you're making a custom, like, for like you choose your leather and make a custom motorcycle jacket or something like that, then I can see that. Like the cost performance of this in sweatshirt is not obviously not great at all.
No.
But in the grand scheme of like expensive things like, super high-end leather jackets, like it might just be a drop in the bucket.
Maybe. Like these...
It's a big drop in the
this
bucket.
zipper design is from a time when zippers weren't standardized yet.
Right.
Like, this is probably 100-year-old design or more when people were just trying to figure this out. What is going to be the standard? Obviously, the zipper design that we have today won, but there were other zipper designs that existed in the past, and I guess they must have found some kind of vintage zipper and recreated it themselves, but it's really, really neat. I wish it was not as expensive as it was. Our zippers already are quite pricey. We use the best, and this represents the best that, or maybe not even the best, but the most, intricate that Waldis can create.
Yeah, and that's also another thing. Like, it's an interesting design. It's a lot of work to make this, but it's also not like the highest. Like they even say it. Like if the smoothness of your zipper is like your concern, this is not like the smoothest zipper. This is not the best. Like the functionality is not the best.
Yeah.
And that's like often the case in vintage details on anything. So I'm not really concerned about that, but it's just
it represents their like and sometimes it's just even like Japanese willingness to just do it. We're just going to make it because we're going to make it. We're crazy enough to make it. We're obsessed enough to make this happen. So yeah, a riff race. You need some WD-40 for that zipper. Yeah, probably. It's not a smooth ride, but it's certainly really, really interesting and neat. Yeah, look at that. It's like serrated edges. It's cool. Chris Lauren writes, that zipper looks like it might accidentally cut you or rip the fabric.
Yeah, it looks very vicious.
Yeah, it looks vicious.
You don't want this on your jeans.
No,
that's for sure.
You definitely don't want this on your jeans. You know, that's something about Mary moment with this thing.
Yeah.
It would have been that would have been a horror movie instead of a comedy. Hopefully people get that reference. If not, go watch Something About Mary. And that's it. That's it. Okay. Everybody. Joshua Vasquez with a comment. I was thinking something like the Rainbow Core, but a rainbow super looper would be very awesome if it's possible. Yeah, like a rainbow rainbow colored loop interior is definitely possible. It's
rainbow nap, yeah.
Yeah, but even rainbow loop, like random, like if we use some kind of like rainbow yarn, like multicolored dyed yarn, it could be possible.
It's possible.
Yeah, everything's possible. Not everything. A lot of things. Leave it to us. Leave it to us. We'll figure it out. Chief Miggy writes, I've seen that zipper. It was on a Balenciaga NASA jacket, but it was bigger. Really? I'm going to look that up, see if I can... that's kind of interesting that someone would even use it. But I guess at their price points, they can do it.
It might not be the same manufacturer. I think this came in one size for us.
Right. Yeah, Joshua Vasquez, would it be possible to make a rainbow super looper? One day it would be possible. I actually like that idea. It's not bad. Nicholas Vilpu writes, unrelated, what hangers are those? Good question.
Yeah.
These come from Muji, actually. These are really... We went through a bunch of hangers, and these hangers are really wonderful. They're from Muji.
It's just so simple and so light, like super light. But it's relatively durable.
Yeah.
We hang our heavy stuff.
And affordable.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are very affordable. I have to say that there's another hanger, which I like.
Yeah, we were shopping for hangers for a long time.
This metal hanger comes from Puebco. It's a good hanger, but there's two problems with it for me. Number one is a little on the expensive side. I don't remember. These might have been like $7 or $8 each. Something like that.
It's not bad if you're buying one, but it's
if you need like 100 of them, it really adds up. I just found that so they have like this little plate on the front, which I want it to be front facing, but the way I need my hangers is to be like this. So it didn't work out because then it would be back facing. If they either did this on the front and the back or got rid of this completely, then it would have been a very, very fine hanger. I would have also loved to custom order these with like Wonder Looper written on here. I don't think they do that, but those are my problems with this hanger. But if you're looking for a cool metal hanger, Puebco makes a very good metal hanger. And these are
great in like closets if you have a lot of clothes, so that it doesn't take up a lot of room. You know, like sometimes wooden hanger, even the thin ones, take up, adds thickness to the spacing. So if you're just hanging something light or like thin, these are the great hangers.
Yeah, and I'm just going to, for the people who are looking for Puebco, they're a Japanese company, but I know that they're starting to sell their products more and more around the world. I see like on their website they have like USA, Canada.
Yeah.
So
they just sell a lot of like India sourced like things. I think they recycle a lot of like materials. Yeah. They make like it's just like it's really affordable because it's all like coming from India, and it's also like it's just they kind of get the aesthetics right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think they do a nice. They make a lot of nice aesthetically pleasing products, and good and good hangers. Yeah. So there's our shout out to Puebco. If the CEO of Puebco is watching this, which I know you are, let's help us out and get some Wonder Looper branded hangers going. Okay, everybody, we're gonna leave it there. I hope that you enjoyed this stream and that we answered all of your questions. And if there is something that you're still curious about, leave it in the comment section below, and we'll be sure to reply to those very soon. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another live stream just for some updates.
Couple of months, you mean?
Yeah, months, weeks. It's all the same. Subscribe to the newsletter for the weekly. Subscribe to our email for the weekly newsletter. Those usually come out on Fridays. And follow us on Instagram. I'll try to post a little bit more there as well. And I'll definitely get the preview of the $5.93 triple heavyweight Tsuriami t-shirt up. Heavy FoxFibre stuff on the way. Lightweight FoxFibre t-shirts coming soon. Super Looper coming soon. A lot of great stuff in the works. Thank you so much for all of your support. We can't do this without you. And we'll be back again real soon at some point. Maybe with better lighting. Who knows? Who knows? All right.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great
nice
one,
weekend.